Good evening, folks. I have 7 o'clock, so I'm going to go ahead and call to order this regular meeting of the Board of Commissioners of the Town of White Lake for February 14, 2023. And I would ask, first of all, that you bow your heads for the invocation. Dear Lord, we thank you for giving us the opportunity to be able to gather here this evening to discuss the business of this town. We would ask that you be with us and guide us and direct us as we attempt to do your will and things that are pleasing in your sight. Lord, guide us as we attempt to handle the matters that come before this board and to serve the people of the town of White Lake. These things we ask in Christ's name. Amen. Amen. The next item is the Pledge of Allegiance. Everyone's welcome to join in. I'd ask Commissioner Ryan if he would lead us in the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. I think Commissioner Hilton had called this afternoon and was unable to attend because of conflict that he had, so he will not be able to join us tonight. The first item that we have on the agenda are our consent agenda items that are contained in agenda item number 1, subsections A through E. Are there any questions for staff in regard to any of the consent agenda items? If not, I would entertain a motion that the consent agenda items 1A through E be approved as presented.
So moved.
Motion second. Second. Any discussion? If not, all in favor indicate by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed, like sign. Item number 2 under administrative matters. We've got the White Lake update and the sewer improvement project update. Sean, if you would take us through those, please.
Yes, sir. For the report to White Lake Town Board on the White Lake Restoration Project, Diane Larson has provided a summary of the report that was in our lake management plan from our hydrogeologist. She has had a follow-up conversation with him and discussed a couple more topics surrounding that groundwater and flow of groundwater, and that is included in this report. She's made it known that she's posted this on whitelakewatch.com. She's also made it known that there's a journal that she'll be submitting some information to in regards to White Lake for study. But on the groundwater themselves, she basically says there's 3 scenarios, A, B, and C are painted in illustrations. And of course, again, this is on whitelakewatch.com, but essentially she states that with high water tables, the groundwater does flow towards White Lake, and thus we see increased spring activity and increased water coming into the lake from the superficial aquifer. But in illustration B, she points out that when the water is below the water table level, we can see water go from the lake into the superficial aquifer. And then in illustration C, if the water level is higher on one side of the lake, the underground water level is higher on one side of the lake than it is the other, we can see that water direction flow towards the lower side of the lake. So she just illustrates that there is a complex picture that happens with the groundwater flow as it is. And as a result, we do see mixed spring activity during and associated with the groundwater that comes in through rainfall, runoff, stormwater, things of that nature. There are no comments from the board on the sewer sanitary improvement project. We are again nearing the end of that project. The contractor has alleviated and fixed the concerns that were going on with the replacement of the utility line in Shady Shores. There were some testing issues with the water line that have been resolved, and they have started paving. So we expect them to be done in the beginning or at latest the middle of March with both paving and the final punch list items of that project. There are two more brief updates I wanted to give on our streetscape project and stormwater project in turn. For our streetscape project, we are entering a phase of that that is site inventory and analysis focused. When this site inventory and analysis is complete, they will come back, they being the group Willard Ravenel engineering firm that is helping us with this project, will come back to town staff for concept development. As a part of this concept development, we will be bringing some concepts to the public and to the board and posting some concepts to start the conversation about our streetscape and how we improve both beautification and the beginning of the stormwater infrastructure. So in that project, we are, of course, looking to leverage and recognize and emphasize our multi-use path as it relates to the economy of White Lake and the opportunities that it extends to the businesses and residents and tourists that visit White Lake. On the stormwater plan, there will be an RFQ request for qualifications that will go out by the end of this week. And in that RFQ, the town will be looking to acquire the services of an engineering firm to actually go through and help us with that project. It is worth noting on that project that was funded through grant dollars, we will be exploring at a minimum the two existing drainage ditches that come off of the DOT sections there on White Lake Drive, as well as some other areas around the lake that have the beginnings of what I would say a basic stormwater system, and then taking that information and building upon how we get a true dedicated system, both through a series of short-term, long-term, and medium-term, if you will, projects that board can fund, or we can apply for grants to fund. But the idea there is to try and connect what we have, expand what we have, and figure out a way to mitigate some of the runoff that we see that goes toward the lake, which, of course, as we know, does add some nutrient load to our lake. So again, that RFQ will be going out by the end of the week. Mayor, if there are no questions on any of that, that's all I have for the project updates at this time.
I have a couple of questions for my mayor. Have we received any response from the state on the letter that was sent?
We have not received a response yet. We have discussed internally about following up with that prior to our next meeting.
And I think Commissioner Blunt mentioned last meeting about either a second scientist or a second opinion. Any update on that or any action being taken on that?
Yes, sir. So we have not taken any action on the second opinion yet, but certainly we could, if it was the board directive, begin to formulate either proposals for a replacement or I guess come back to the board with more information on what a second opinion would look like.
Okay. Anything else? All right. Item 3 on the Board of Trustees appointed by local government. We've got an opening on the White Lake Fire Department as one of the trustees, and our fire chief is asking that Tim Frush did previously fill that position when he was employed with the town, and he's asking that the board consider appointing Mr. Thomas Gilliard to that position. And of course, as y'all know, Thomas is a longtime member, serving member of the White Lake Fire Department. So I would certainly join in that recommendation from Chief Brenner. At this time, I would entertain a motion that we approve replacing Mr. Frush with Mr. Thomas Gilliard as a member of the Board of Trustees as presented.
So second.
Motion second. Any discussion? Not all in favor indicate by saying aye. Any opposed, like sign. Item 4A is just a matter that we do each year. We have applied again for an OSFM grant that we apply for each year, and we have been actually quite successful in being able to get those funds. It's a 50-50 match, And the fire department is willing to purchase some more air packs, cylinders, and face masks. And so that having been said, would like to entertain a motion that we approve the request to participate in the 2023 OSFM grant cycle as presented. And I think we have that included in our budget in the event that that is awarded.
Yes, sir.
Motion to approve is presented.
Motion second.
Second.
Any discussion? Not all in favor indicate by saying aye. Any opposed, like sign. Item 5A is the tax lien advertisement. We're required under the general statutes to advertise the total amount of unpaid taxes for the current fiscal year, which are liens on real property. And the total amount at that point of those right now is $84,094.64. Uncollected liens for 2022 taxes, and a copy of the current fiscal year listing of taxpayers owing those for years 2013 through 22 are on file in the tax collector's office. And staff is requesting that we post and advertise the uncollected liens for 2022 taxes at least once between March 1st and June 30th, which is required by the general statutes. And what we have always done as a matter of course, since we are not that large of a town, when we get the listing in, we make an effort to do individual contacts with folks by letters or calls, because sometimes there's a mix up in people thinking they're paid when in fact they're not paid. Or it may have been a late payment or any number of things of that nature. So we try to notify people on it so that we have an opportunity to do that before there's a publishing of the tax liens. So at this point, I would ask, and we'll follow that procedure again this year. I'm asking that the board approve the 2022 uncollected tax liens posting and advertising is requested. And again, that will be sometime a little later on during this fiscal year after we have an opportunity to contact folks.
So moved.
Motion second.
Second.
Any discussion? Not all in favor indicate by saying aye. All opposed, like sign. Next is the ordinance on budget ordinance amendment in the amount of $15,256. Sean, if you would, please review that with the board.
Yes, sir. This is budget ordinance amendment number 2023-06. And what this is requesting is that it is necessary to budget and replace two of our HVAC systems here at Town Hall. One of the replaced units serviced the administration office, and the other unit serviced our CMRA post office. Both of these units were over 20 years old, and in turn, we had to replace them after they failed recently. The total sum of that cost of replacement is $15,256. This money will come from unappropriated fund balance. And at this time, Mayor, that's all I have.
All right. Any questions for Sean in regard to that? If not, I would entertain a motion that expenditure be approved as presented.
Motion to approve is presented.
Motion, is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? If not, all in favor indicate by saying aye. All opposed, like sign. Sean, and 7A under the resolutions, if you would address that to the board, please.
Yes, sir. This is resolution 2023-06. This resolution concerns a 1994 SREC Sewer Jetter machine that is being or has been utilized in public works. This resolution is requesting the board to declare this property as surplus, and that the town administrator be authorized to dispose of the listing vehicles via the sealed bid process. If there are no questions from the board, Mayor, that's all I have in this resolution.
All right, so I would entertain a motion that we approve resolution 2023-06 as presented.
So moved.
Motion second.
Second.
Any discussion? Not all in favor indicate by saying aye. Any opposed, like sign. Under item 8, under other business, is the departmental briefings and reports that we always present. Those are available to the board. They're available through our agenda, and they're available here through staff to anyone in the town that would like to review any of those reports. Any questions about any of the presented reports?
Well, I got something. I don't know if this is my time to speak. I learned something last week, first time I've known since I've been living here. I looked at the water releases. I don't see the folks' names on, see account number. Maybe that was a little something different. But, and this might be, we do it at a retreat. It brought to my attention, you only can have one adjustment a year on the water bills.
Yes, sir, for a leak, that's been the policy since I've been here.
Interesting. You know, we had a winter freeze, we had pipes froze, and so if you're gonna have so like campgrounds and motels, they only get one adjustment as well.
Yes, sir, right now it's done per account.
That's something I want to look at, because if you have a little leak, you took your adjustment, not knowing you have a major leak. Of course, we still charge you for the water, but not the sewer. We're saying we don't give any adjustment, and that's something I just been brought to my attention.
Well, and I have to be honest with you, I didn't realize there was a one shot deal. I did not. I didn't know that was the case. Probably should have, as long as I've been here doing this. But I don't. I certainly don't have any problem discussing that at the retreat, or if we want to put it on to make a difference with it. I mean, I just, it seems kind of unfair. I mean, somebody residential or commercial could have a leak, and then of course not all leaks occur at the same place all the time. And you know, and if somebody does have another, I mean, I don't have any problem with just that. I don't think there's really any area for abuse of our policy, because what we do, we charge for the water. We just release if a leak is proven, and we do require that, and some proof of it. We release the sewer portion of the bill because the water is not going through the system and doesn't have to be treated. So I don't have any problem if we want to have a look at that. I don't even know if that's part of the ordinances or just general practice, but we'll take a look at that and let you know, because I would agree with you on that if that is the case, we probably ought to look at something different on that. Seems like would be more equitable to do that.
Mayor, I'll be happy to bring some information to the board on that if the board wishes to go that direction. I did want to just say that the staff does a really good job in my experience of overhearing some of their conversations of it, trying to explain to the customers that is the policy. So if it's a relatively small leak, they do walk them through the process and talk with them about if they want to hold that adjustment or if they want to go ahead and use that adjustment. But I'll be more than happy to bring some information to the
Let's
board.
talk about, like, you don't know how big of adjustment you got, and then it's you used it, and then you got a major one in the
Sure.
Charge it. No, thank you.
Yes, sir. Okay, anything else before anybody has? All right. If not, let me get back over here. And that concludes number 8. I did want to point out, as informational purposes, under 8B on the year of the trail. I know we always put this information in here, but I would ask if you get a chance. There's a lot of work that has gone in this. We have some proposed itineraries. I assume that we've got some of those available here.
Yes, sir.
If people need to see them. There's of course, the Mountain to Sea Trail comes through. We got a lot of activities. There's an event that's taking place. Is it Saturday night at Clearwater?
Yes, sir.
And there's going to be a meal. It's kind of a fundraiser. There's going to be a band. There's numerous walks on various trails that are here in the county. There's some guided paddle and kayak tours on, I think, Jones's Lake and possibly Singletary's Lake. So there are a lot of activities that are there, not only for adult folks, but if you got kids or grandkids, so if you get the opportunity, we've been trying to get the word out on that. Would like to have people participating in that, because it includes, of course, White Lake, but it includes all of the Bay Lakes and surrounding area, and of course, we like to bring as much attention to that as we can. Our Chamber of Commerce has been working on their marketing plan, which is basically called Mother Nature's Playground. And we hope to use these natural attributes that we have in order to be able to attract people to this area for our economic growth. So I hope you will take a look at that and try to participate if you have an opportunity to do so.
Mayor, I just wanted to add real quick that itinerary is posted on the town's website as well. And I see Jonathan Langston out here in the audience. You can find more information at the Chamber's website in addition to what's posted on the Town of White Lake's website.
Yeah, Terry has worked really hard in promoting this through the Chamber and all, and it's a thing that is well worthwhile for your support if you have an opportunity to do that. And I think it'd be a lot of fun. Okay, that concludes the items in our agenda. At this point, we're at the open forum. It's 3 minutes per citizen. If you wish to address the board on any subject, you need to step forward, state your name and address, and you have 3 minutes to address the board.
Thank you, Mayor. I'm Jonathan Langston, and again, I just want to thank the town administrator, Sean Martin, for putting that on the agenda. That's actually what I came to tell you guys about. And so yes, the Year of the Trail is something that the chamber has been kind of working with the state of North Carolina, but we also are trying to get tourism to come to the White Lake area of Lake Erie in these off-season times. And hiking is a great time to pull people from up north, from Pennsylvania, Connecticut, New York, and all these other New England states and all of them. Come to North Carolina. The weather's great, hiking at Jones Lake, Sanitary Lake, all these other places, the mosquitoes are almost non-existent and stuff. So it's actually a good time to come down to spend some time in the area. You know, Goldston's beaches, I'm glad they opened their doors to allow folks to come and stay for the weekend and all. And other businesses around White Lake as well have opened up, and so we appreciate them participating in the Year of Trail festivity. On Friday, there's actually a ribbon cutting ceremony for the Mountain to Sea Trail Bridge that was recently created. So 2 o'clock on Friday. Again, you're welcome to attend that.
Is that, I don't mean to, is that in the Turnbull area?
So
Am I
yeah,
thinking
you,
correct on that?
you can park at the Jones Lake parking area, and then it's like a 5-minute walk across the road. You know, if you want to get there at 1:30, 1:45, something like that, the ceremony is going to start at 2. And then of course on Saturday, just like you said, Friday and Saturday, we've got a bunch of events that are going on. Music at the Glass Bottle. We hear Goldston's on Friday night as well as Saturday. And then again, like you mentioned, Camp Thor is hosting a fundraiser for the Mountain Sea Trail, which is Southern cuisine of Brunswick stew and chicken pastry. Is that right? Yeah. So
About as southern as it gets.
yeah, $5. I mean, you know, super cheap. So come on out, have some you know, fellowship with some friends and family in the area, bring them. You don't really have to register for all these events. Try to create some event rights, postings, so that way we can kind of get numbers of what folks are doing and all. Again, it's open to the community here locally, as well as bringing in some tourism. Again, we want to make this an annual thing to bring people back. So again, we appreciate you for putting that on the agenda. So that's all.
Yep, thank you, John.
Thanks, John. Appreciate it. Anyone else?
Mary Hawley, the meeting next Tuesday, you got it on here, but there's not enough time.
What are you talking about? Our workshop? We're going to adjourn this meeting to a date certain. It does say Tuesday, February 21st. It's going to be 6 o'clock. But we haven't until we adjourn. We've got the nights open of the 21st and the 28th. So we're going to see which will work best for the board.
Okay.
And we'll address that at the end of this meeting right now.
Okay. You're gonna tell us what the.
We're going to address it right now. Yeah. Yeah.
And good. Congratulations.
Okay, I'm sorry, anyone else wish to speak? If not, as you will note at the bottom of the agenda, the meeting is being adjourned to, it's either Tuesday, February 21st, at 6 p.m. for our budget workshop, or Tuesday, February 28th at 6 p.m. for a budget workshop. And that is taking place at the Elizabethtown Airport. And we'll be conducting the budget workshop there. Can the folks give me some, before we adjourn the meeting tonight, we need to do it to a date certain, one of those dates. What meeting what time works best for y'all?
We got a meeting here on the 23rd.
That's MCAC.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're gonna be two meetings, and you were saying the 21st.
21st or 28th for the budget workshop. There is an as we handed out the flyer on it, there's an MCAB meeting that is hosted by White Lake. That is the 23rd at 6, and that'll be here. So
Either day's all right with me.
y'all,
First be best for me.
21st,
Either
you make
day,
21st,
it's okay.
Tom,
Sounds good.
21st. I'm good. 21st. Everybody good? Okay. We want to just give you the 28th as an alternate in case that didn't work out for somebody. I haven't talked with Dean, but hopefully he'll be available at that time too. So that having been said, I would entertain a motion to adjourn this meeting to Tuesday, February the 21st at 6 o'clock p.m.
So
Motion second.
second.
Any discussion? If not, all in favor indicate by saying aye. All opposed, like sign. We are adjourned to that.
And you said
Is
six,
that,
you said 6?
It's 6 o'clock. Yes,
That's
sir.
at the airport?
Yes.
At airport.
Yes, sir. That is correct. We're reserved over there. Okay. Thank you, folks.